Hello and welcome to the Pixelated Realms, your guide through the digital landscape, untangling the mysteries of your favorite titles and discussing the latest and greatest in video game fun. I'm your host, Alex Lerner, and alongside me is my brother Tyler and my good friend Dustin. What's up, guys?
What up?
Hello,
Episode
welcome
number
back.
2 since we've been back, and it's
Yep.
good to be back. Though I feel like I have fallen so far out of like video game zeitgeist, so I need you guys to like
Yeah, your
tell me
Bears
what's
and
happened.
fucking flub last week where you're like, Summer Games Fest is next month, right, boys?
That's because I didn't have the podcast.
Yeah.
It's your job to keep me informed
I
of these
mean,
things.
Again, like you did have a child, so you've probably lost all track of time and space, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It I don't know what I'm lucky to like be awake honestly at any given moment. So
Maybe
the
it's
fact that I got
just
that wrong is not surprising.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a proof point of like how weak Summer Games Fest kind of was this year, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, like paying attention, like I didn't watch it, but paying attention over the weekend of like what was happening, there wasn't anything that like blew my mind. I know Tyler disagrees because he was like flipping out over like Final Fantasy stuff and
Was that announced in Summer Games Fest though? I'll have to look.
well, okay. I say Summer Games Fest. I mean like that weekend, right? Like that whole
Okay.
So Xbox Showcase, PlayStation I think did something. Then we
they
had
did
actual Summer Games Fest, a
State of
direct,
Play.
right? Oh, okay, State of Play.
Yeah. I mean, this year we're halfway through the year, and I feel like it's been a pretty slow news year. I mean, there's definitely been stuff like we had Assassin's Creed, and I mean, there's been games, but there hasn't been any like headline news worthy events that have really happened.
Just a lot of
maybe
niche stuff, like nothing that like everyone in the industry is like, holy shit. Like, I've been waiting for this. I think there was like a Resident Evil was announced, which a lot of people like Resident Evil. That's a
Love
cool
Resident
game.
Evil.
But again, like that's still a little bit more like niche, than like something that's been like highly anticipated. Like,
well, okay. Let me
haven't
jog
announced
your guys'
GTA.
memories. Let me jog your memories because Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was announced. That was kind of a big deal, and like I know it's
Couldn't
like
care less. Next.
Okay.
the next the fucking
Clockwork
yearly...
Revolution. Another game that looks fantastic is Clockwork Revolution.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up.
It's a... I don't even know how to describe it. It's a first-person steampunk RPG choice-driven game, and it looks like it has a really fun like humor to it, and it had a really awesome style. I'm having trouble describing it, but you have to watch the trailer to really get it.
I'll have to watch it. I mean, there's certainly things. I'm not saying that there aren't like games and stuff happening, but it's all very like standard fare. And I mean, that's fine. Like, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And I think this is kind of like what we called a couple of years ago. Like, I want to say like when we first started this podcast, we were talking about like, there was a big shift in the industry. A lot of people were getting laid off, a lot of changes, a lot of failed projects in AAA. And we were like, what that's just going to mean is there's going to be a lot more AA in indie games. And that's what's happening. We're having a lot less of those like, we had this like, we were eating so good for a while where it was like every 3 months was a huge AAA mega blockbuster title. And that just wasn't possible to maintain that all the time. You can't go from Ghost of Tsushima to God of War and then all this other shit just like back to back to back.
Ghost
Last of
was
Us
kind
2.
of like Ghost was like a dark horse right now, and I don't think anyone really expected that game to be as good as it was. But I think like when you look at it, especially if you like look back at TGAs, right? TGA, we got the first look at a brand new IP for Naughty Dog. Like that was like huge.
That was huge. You're right. That was huge.
I don't know if there was GTA 6 news there, but basically like I think like you take a step back and you look at like at this past weekend and like sure, Bandai announced Code Vein 2. I just seen, Dying Light the Beast. You had
it was called Resident Evil
Requiem.
Yeah.
You got a new Scott Pilgrim game, which I saw a lot of people are hyped for. So there's stuff. but it's like there was no Sony Santa Monica, there was no Naughty Dog, there was no CD Projekt Red, there was no Rockstar.
GTA.
You know,
Yeah, Rockstar.
so it's like when you think of like those, the
Bethesda.
highest echelon of studios, like I wouldn't even put Bethesda there, right? Like EA, Bethesda, Square, like those are like great publishers and they have some like bangers in there, but like just like actual studios that are known
Yeah, I agree.
put out like industry changing. There's no like a From Software game, you know. So it's like those like most well-respected highest echelon of studios that people like get super hyped for, even if they're not, that isn't necessarily their genre, didn't show off anything. So
yeah,
it's kind of like, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, there's like, I don't know, this Clockwork Revolution game, if you take one thing away from the podcast, is to go check it out. Like the style and the trailer like were really funny and humorous, and there's kind of this like human robotic world going on. It kind of has like it reminds me almost like a Fallout, but like also that Borderlands style humor, but like kind of its own thing.
It looks kind of like BioShock Infinite style to me.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit of that. Like, but it just
like
is one of those
style,
games that seems like it goes really hard on the humor and like choices matter. And then there's like gun customization and
yeah,
you know, kind of like that Fallout. It kind of has that cool like Fallout style game, but like Borderlands Infinite style.
Yeah. There's also
Steampunk.
Yeah, Outer Wilds 2 was also announced, I think, right? That weekend.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's going to be good and better than Outer Wilds 1, because they like kind of acknowledged pretty clearly that Outer Wilds 1 did not like meet their expectations. Outer Worlds, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you mean Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Outer
It's
Worlds.
the same thing.
Everyone always
decoupled.
Yeah.
That'll never be decoupled. They released too close to each other, and it was
Yeah.
just a permanent attachment. Just speaking of which, I saw this really interesting post earlier. What do you think is the number 2 most played first-person shooter franchise? Number 1 is pretty obvious; it's Call of Duty. But what do you think number 2 is?
Counter-Strike.
Like
I'll let you know. It's a surprise. It's a surprise.
Oh,
like combined across all their games, or
by series by series. So like all of them.
Halo then, but
it's on the list, but not number 2.
Wow.
I mean, the obvious would think Battlefield, but I don't think
that's number 3.
Okay.
That's number 3. By the way, I'm looking forward to Battlefield 6. It looks like the first one actually will give some time.
1 and 5
number
are both
2,
fantastic, so you're crazy.
Well, I actually like those, but I didn't like the multiplayer enough to want to continue to play it like on the regular. But the number 2 most played first-person shooter game is Borderlands, the Borderlands series, which I did not.
Oh my gosh!
It's a surprise. Like I think even
Halo?
Borderlands was probably like, huh.
How is that measured? Is it like unique, like sales, like unique players, like peak concurrent? Like
that is a good question. Let me look. Units.
Because I can't imagine.
Sold.
I can't imagine there's any game that may be caught. But like Counter-Strike has been around for like 20 something years.
Let's see. Call of Duty is at 500 since the beginning of its like life, I guess. So Call of Duty is at 500 million units sold. Borderlands has 91 million sold. And then Battlefield is 88, and then there's a bunch of other things like Tom Clancy, which they bundled together, Halo, Far Cry, Destiny, and at the very bottom of the list, Counter-Strike, 35 million units.
That's probably, I wonder if that's just original Counter. Like, I wonder how, well, now it should be franchise, right? Because I wonder if Source.
It's been the whole franchise, yeah.
I wonder if Source and 2 and 1 and Global Offensive are in there, if that's just Counter-Strike original.
Yeah. It says it was updated a day ago, so it's pretty updated. I know it's based off of Wikipedia list of best-selling video game franchises, so you can go check it out. But I just found that really interesting because that was a surprise. Like, I'm not surprised to see Call of Duty and Battlefield at the top, and Halo is number 5. But I'm really surprised to see Borderlands up there. Which I mean, I'm happy because I'm a big Borderlands fan. You know, the good and the bad, and I'm excited for Borderlands 4. I'm gonna play the shit out of that.
Yeah,
And
I'm
the
excited
Clockwork
for it too.
Revolution game looks cool. Before we move on to our next topic, though, I want to get into a little bit of housekeeping. So, we're back, and we're really happy to be back. We post new episodes every Tuesday, and we have our Patreon. If you go to pixelatedrealms.org/Patreon, go ahead and subscribe. It's where we post our announcements and new information. So like when we went on our hiatus, the only place we posted that information was on our Patreon. I was kind of an experiment, actually. I wanted to see who was on there or not. But it's free. We don't expect any donations or anything like that. So you can subscribe for free and get all of our, information on there. So go check it out. All right, well, now we'll move on. So what have you guys been playing?
Yeah, I hope there hasn't been bad echo because I've been seeing my light up.
Oh, I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can't hear you now.
You can't hear me now? Fuck, I just
You
turned my
sound like
gain.
really far away.
I know,
All
I
right,
turned my
Tyler.
gain.
Oh, there you go. Okay, go Dustin.
As I'm picking up your fucking mic through my headphones on my desktop mic. I think we'll see. We'll see when you record or
Really?
when we go down.
That's a pretty sensitive mic then, because.
Well, I don't know.
Sure
it just shows that my mic is lighting up, and I have my headphones on. So like, talk right now.
Hey. Nope, nothing.
Check.
All right, we'll see. Fuck. What was I gonna say?
What have you been playing?
Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, more Lego Star Wars. Actually, it's cool. It's not something I've been playing, but Arthur, my son, he's 5 for the listeners who don't know. He's been into Minecraft for a while, and I had him on survival mode because I don't really Minecraft, so I don't know the fucking shit. And like on survival mode, you have to like mine all of your resources. But one time he was playing, am I like blurry? One time I was playing and he had everything, all the fucking things you could even think of in this game. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so cool. And he's just having a blast with it. We were like, and you could fly. And I was like, that's wild.
That's not survival mode.
Yeah. So he flipped it to creative mode somehow. And so he was like, yesterday he was asking me, like, Daddy, like, how do I get like the sword and like the diamond armor and all this stuff? And I was like, all right, let me Google this so there's some fucking setting in here that allows you to have everything. And so, yeah, figured it out. It's creative mode, as you guys spoiled. But dude, like, he's been going fucking insane. Like, for a kid who's 5.5 right now, like, I am legitimately like so impressed with what he has created in the last 24 hours. Like, he did like this crazy huge Optimus Prime, and he did this whole village with like a pool and like the rooms and his villagers all over the place, and like he like just some of the stuff like that he's designing. Like he just created a bridge, right? But like he did like this like stone bridge with like this purple block, and then he actually made like the side out of stone and like had like the little pillars in certain places that were like actually consistent across the bridge, and I was like, dude, this is like,
good job.
I can't believe that you're building this yourself.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah. So I'm super impressed with what he's been doing. And yeah, I'm just kind of like, shit, dude, go crazy, because, like he loves to draw. Like he's been drawing like crazy too. Like we have a little drawing desk downstairs, and he's just got like stacks of color books and pens. And I'm like, this allows you to go so far beyond what you can do with like color pencils or crayons, and just explore your imagination. So like now that he's doing it, and I see like what he's been doing the last 24 hours, like I have no problem at all with him like jumping on there and like playing, because it's just like, yeah.
It's like creative.
Yeah, like in the movie, right? Anything you can think of, like you can build, and like he's literally doing that like right now. So yeah, pretty cool. So if you got kids, listeners, Minecraft may be actually a decent option for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason it's like one of the most popular games, even to this day, after like it being out forever.
Yeah, is Roblox kind of similar? Like, is Roblox also building?
No,
No,
Roblox actually isn't a game. It's actually
it's a sandbox kind of thing.
It's
No, it's not a sandbox.
It's a editor. It's actually like a really watered down like Unreal Engine, but you can only create games in their own ecosystem. So when you create the game, it posts it to their server, and then you can play other people's games to pull it down. So it's like a closed ecosystem. So you have these two types of people. You have the players, which are all the kids, and then you have the creators who are making these games. So the game
So is
Roblox
that like a
itself
list
isn't a game.
of games that you can then like load into and play that specific game rather than like
Yeah.
So it's not like a big open land where you stumble across like Sonic the Hedgehog game kind of
No,
thing.
but what you can do is you import your character into the game. So it's like you have your character that you customize or paid for or whatever, and then he's in the game now. So it's like you can, and then a lot of them are multiplayer too. So it's like some of them are just open chat rooms that you can just go in and exist in, and some are actual
More
games,
like
some are
VR
single player.
chat, but like
I
for
was thinking
kids.
that maybe it's like kind of
VR
VR
chat
chat.
is awful.
You know, it's like terrible. I actually worked with a company called GameFam, and they have some of the most popular games on Roblox. And like I helped them do the announcement for the Sonic game. They like that's their game.
And people make money. That's a lot of money in
And,
Roblox for
yeah,
some reason.
And I don't
it's
even know how it
monetized.
works. I was just like, oh, I thought it was like Minecraft 2.0 over here. But it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a look at it. It's actually pretty complicated. It's interesting. Like they've really built the system out. The editor is very powerful. Like it's literally just a game engine, but it's specialized. So you have to create your character in their ecosystem, and then people can play the games with their character. But
so yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Really just been Dune for me the last week. I've been so I'm talking about Dune Awakening for anyone who hasn't been following. Survival MMO Dune inspired game. It's fantastic. I'm at over 90 hours now, which is ridiculous.
The game's been out like maybe 3 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, it's been out 2 weeks.
Who would have known you just got married?
Yeah. Yeah. I also had some break from work, so that gave me that time. But either way, I've gotten to the end game, and there's been a lot of discussion online about the end game and kind of like people being disappointed and whatnot, and not liking one aspect of the PvP being either too much PvP or too little PvP. And basically the end of the game is you leave the main map that you've spent a lot of time in, and then you end up going to an even bigger map called the Deep Desert, where it gets basically that map gets wiped every week instead of like in all survival games. If our listeners have played any survival games, usually there's like a reset and they'll wipe out everything and then everyone builds back up again. So you don't have to do that. They have you can keep your base in the regular map called the Haga Basin, but now this Deep Desert is where you go and you try to like collect the rarest materials of the game in competition with the other players, and then that is wiped once a week with a big storm. So I've been doing a lot of Deep Desert runs, done some stupid things and lost a lot of gear and gotten eaten by Shai Hulud and whatnot. But
yeah, the worm
I don't know.
is
I don't
scary.
really see the complaint. It's all been really fun to me. Even if I like
the only people
wear
that are
out
complaining,
the Deep Desert, they're like, "Oh, I got the best gear already, and now I'm bored." I'm like, "Well,
I've put 1,200 hours into this game,
right?" I'm like,
and
"Did
it's been
it
out
take
for
you
2 weeks,
200 hours to do that?"
There's not enough content.
Right. So like I get it. If you're expecting a full-blown MMO, it's not quite there yet. It's still they need some time to cook, but I think it's ridiculous to say that there's not enough content and like to say that the game like isn't enough. I've already played through a lot of the content of the game, and I'm super excited for what they're going to add, and I still like want to keep playing. So I don't know. I think if you like Dune, if you like survival games, like I just think it's crazy that people would complain about it. Like it's just it's a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10. But like, what's wrong with a 9 out of 10? Like a 9 out of 10 is a fantastic game. Like,
right,
so
let's see if Travis Northup agrees with you. He posted his updated Dune Awakening review on IGN today. It's on the front page when I went over there. Let us see.
My guess. I want to guess. I want to guess what I think IGN's going to give it before. I think they're going to give it a 7 out of 10.
They gave it an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because I would give it
a 7. criminal.
Let's see. Their verdict.
I'm just thinking from like a casual gamer perspective.
Yeah, it's an excellent survival MMO that captures Frank Herbert's sci-fi world incredibly well, mostly to its advantage and occasionally to its detriment. Their survival climb from dehydrated peasant to powerful warlord is a joy. Blah blah blah. I'm kind of trying to see like what kept it from high.
I don't really care what he has to say about it, to be honest.
I think I would give it like probably an 8.5.
I started the show because I want to say my opinion about it.
Says the combat never really hits its stride, and the end game is a bit chaotic. A chaotic mess not worth the effort. So, how do you feel about those 2 points?
I mean, I don't agree with it. It's not a chaotic mess.
We don't like your opinion.
It's just not like as developed. I think people had so much fun that they now are pissed because they can't go and have another 200 hours of fun. And it's like, dude, like they released a full game by all means, and the fact that they're gonna keep adding to it is just like just a benefit we get to have. You know, so
it wasn't even like $60, right? It was
50.
Yeah, it was 50. Yeah, it's a $50 game. Like, fuck off.
I mean, so there's a little bit of wonkiness to the combat. You know, there's some of those classic survival game issues of just like random clipping and like, you know, just like some really, really small bugs. But like all in all, I think it's still a feat. It's still really impressive. And it's like, I think an 8 is a little conservative. I really do think a 9, it's deserving of a 9. And I don't know. It just
across the board industry wise, like an 8 is exactly where it sits. Like 37 Metacritic scores, it's an 80. So, you know, I'm sure there's some 10s in there and there's some 6s in there because there just always is. So,
like one thing I will say is the community has been really nice so far, even in this PvP game. Like everyone's been really cooperative and working together. Like, you know, people like helped bail me out and stuff when I was like in trouble. So I don't know. It's just been really fun so far. Yeah, it's not just a toxic cesspool, although I've seen some Reddit posts that seem like, you know, their server is. But the point being is like, you know, like I think if you enjoy it for what it is, like many games, it's fantastic. And then if you try to make it something it's not, and your expectations are blown because it didn't have, you know, I don't know.
Wait, is it like an Adam Sandler movie? Because I fucking love Adam Sandler movies, and I watch them for what they are. Just dumb comedy.
No, it's better than an Adam Sandler movie.
Like just dumb dad humor that's like entertaining as hell to me. I'm not looking for an Oscar-winning film.
It's not Christopher Nolan, but it's not Adam Sandler.
A little bit better than Adam Sandler, I guess. All right, happy. What is it?
Happy Gilmore?
No. What's his production company called? Happy Madison.
Yeah.
You're right. Before Alex gets into his, I'm just gonna say too, like, one other thing I was doing is I finished ReZero season 3, which it was good. I guess it was supposed to be actually longer, and then they split it into 2 seasons, so I was a little bit bummed on that. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. But one thing I started, and like I kind of regret it. It's only 50 episodes, so it's not that big of a deal. It'll probably be longer eventually. Is Eden's Zero, which is from the creator of Fairy Tail. And I watched the first episode because I like Fairy Tail, and dude, it is so fucking funny how much it just like screams Fairy Tail again. Like, I don't know about like the story, but the main character Rebecca is like, I only watched one episode. It's like basically Lucy 2.0. It's like a well-endowed blonde, you know, and then
Cyberpunk Lucy.
No. Lucy Hartfield.
Fairy Tail Lucy.
I haven't watched Fairy Tail.
Yeah, but then they have, so in Fairy Tail there's a cat, a blue cat named Happy, and it is Natu Dragneel, the other like protagonist sidekick. They have a fucking blue cat with the same exact design named Happy.
No way.
Eden Zero.
I thought Happy was also in another anime too.
Like they're just like, he's in everything. He's a multiversal
and like
traveler.
It's not like in the same universe. It's not the same Happy. They just decided to use the same exact character model with the same name in their like new anime or follow up.
Weird.
Which was just kind of funny. The ending of the first episode was actually really good, though. I was like, oh man, this is kind of like more story than we get out of like a lot of fairy tale. Because I'll spoil. You guys are never gonna watch this shit. Basically, like she goes to
Spoilers
this
for the
planet.
viewership.
It's the first episode, people. Out of 50, get over it. She goes to this planet and like it's all robots. Like I guess robots, whatever. And there's one human, and basically like the robots start to have a rebellion and say like, oh, we've been waiting for a human to come here with a ship so we could escape and like overthrow humanity. And so like they capture her, they're going to kill her. And then the other human who's been there that the demon king brought to that planet, who they've been like raising, they're like, yeah, we've just been using you, you shitty human. And like he ends up like fighting them and like kills like the king, or like fight like disables the king, and all his friend robots are like down with humans, and he's just like so sad. And then he ends up escaping with Rebecca, and then at the end it cuts to the robots and they're like we love you, like this was the only way to get you to finally leave when the opportunity came, was for us to pretend like we hated you so that you would leave.
The great trick.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of an interesting touch at the end of that episode. Like I'm obviously like,
yeah, it's like the
I mean, yeah,
the
I didn't get anything you were saying there.
Well, you're the worst.
I think, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I still am gonna watch Steins Gate, by the way. I did watch the first episode and it was kind of interesting. Or like not, it was interesting, but also like I feel like I need to watch it again because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I feel like that's going to be an anime that I might have to watch twice because
you should just play the game. Speaking of games,
it's funny. It's actually a segue into mine because
perfect. See, totally on my plan.
Speaking of anime, I finally finished the Arcane series, and I fucking love it. That is so count good.
As anime, but yeah,
yeah, cartoon, whatever. I mean, just because it, what is anime, right? Like, does it have to come from Japan? But
yes, but yeah. Anyway,
yes, it does.
Because if you ask any Japanese person if like Scooby-Doo is anime, they will say yes. They like Japanese people do not.
Not getting into that debate.
I'm just saying
adult animation.
Yeah.
I watched an adult animation, Safe for Work version, and of Arcane, and I watched season 1 and 2, and goddamn, that story is so good. I know
I didn't watch season 2. Don't spoil it. Season 1 is fantastic.
Okay, well, I won't. Season 1 is fucking perfection. I like season 2 a lot too. I know people online were like less. They liked it less than season 1, but honestly, because I watched it all in one shot, I didn't even notice. Like it just seemed like more, which was awesome. They do change some of the like art a little bit. They don't change it. They add kind of more, like they try more variations, like they get a little more creative with some of the fight scenes, like and stuff like that, but I didn't mind that at all. It seemed really cool and I liked it, but it made me want to play League of Legends, so I reinstalled League of Legends. And fuck, God. I suck so bad at League of Legends. My God, I was playing and I was like, okay, it's been a long time since I played League of Legends. And I actually played more Heroes of the Storm than League of Legends, but I know like the gist of it. But boy, the learning curve is rough.
We're too old for League. We don't have it anymore. Like we don't have the reaction.
For sure, we don't.
Like
I mean, it's just a really complicated game, and it's like, it's very knowledgeable.
I'm not trying to be the world's best League player. I'm just here. I just wanted to, play a fun game, and it is fun. Like I really, like it, and I'm gonna probably play it some more, but I played a game. I was
sorry.
What?
My headphones are dying, so I'm messing with them.
Oh, womp womp.
I had to change the battery too.
But I played a game this morning. Was Jax, which is like a top laner.
Top laner.
Yeah. So played it, got completely stomped by this Teemo on the other side because, of course,
Teemo's
as
really hard.
Jax, like having Teemo having that, like he has a really good poking ability from range, just fucking destroyed me. And so he would just, and I'm also shitty at the game, so he knew exactly how to like bait me just right.
In a lot of ways, like it's about like character specific knowledge. So like you'll have to know how Jax is supposed to deal with Teemo, and like a lot of like the way you get good is you like play like 1,000 games as Jax, you know, and you learn every lineup, and it's so knowledge based. I mean, I really enjoyed League when I played it, but like I also knew I never wanted to get too serious because I mean it's like getting into chess. You know, when you get into chess, you're like, oh my god, there's a lot to learn. So
it's funny, you're the second person in my life with unprompted that compared League of Legends to chess. That just must be a common comparison.
Yeah, like it's pretty.
I liked League when I played it. You know, it just comes back to what we've talked about before here for me with ranked gaming, right? Like ranked gaming, in my opinion, is not an enjoyable experience. Like it's either you win and you have relief that you won. It wasn't fun. It's more like, thank fucking God I didn't lose.
Yeah.
Like, you're relieved. You're not like, wow, that was so much fucking fun. This is amazing. Yeah. Like, no, you're like, oh God. Or you're like, fuck you. Where's something I can break? You know, like now I gotta like win 2 games to make up the shit I lost for that game. I lost my fucking promotion match, like, you know, so it's
and
just
the randomness can be really frustrating too.
Yeah.
Like
the
randomness of your teammates are what you get.
Yeah, I've never been somebody who's like good at like the AP character. I'm not good at the carry characters, right? I always played support, so you know I was like Caitlyn, or not Caitlyn, Leona. I love Leona. I played Leona a ton. Played a lot of Thresh. Also played like I would jungle, and I played like Rammus jungle, which was really cool for a time. Played a little bit of top with Renekton and Pantheon. You know, Pantheon was never really meta, maybe for like a short minute. You know, so
depends on who you are.
I didn't play a ton of like meta characters. Like Leona's like always been very, very good, and Renekton's very, very good. Has always just been like a really solid character. But yeah, you know, I've never been like, you know, the guy on the ninja character, whatever the fuck his name is. I forgot.
Zed?
Or the dude with the big sword, the like
Riven.
No.
Or you're thinking there's a whole bunch of characters who you're thinking characters who have like resets and dashes, like Katarina, like who could just kill everyone.
Ninja character.
It's Shen is who you're thinking of. He's a literal ninja.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You should. I was like,
no, it's not Shen, because Shen's like a tank.
Yasuo.
It's the guy who's like literally running around holding a fucking sword up like this.
Yasuo.
You're thinking of Genji from Overwatch in Heroes of the Storm.
Dude.
Are you? You cannot be.
You for sure are. If it's
you
not
cannot
Shen.
be. It's Yasuo, dude.
It's not Yasuo either.
Shit. It's
like,
not Shen, or you don't.
He can
is he green in your mind?
Like
what color
looks
is he?
like it. I don't fucking know. Like he's a
Darren?
goddamn Garen. Are you serious?
I still think it's Shen, and you just don't know.
What I know who Shen is because I've played Shen. Shen throws the 2 things. He has the bubble.
Shen,
and he can teleport.
Did I say
he can teleport bubble with his ult. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah,
I'll look.
I don't think this.
I
don't think this exists. I think you just Mandela affected yourself.
Yeah. Also, when I Google him, I don't see a single image of him in game. So.
Well, it's like fucking impossible to figure out who these guys
League
are because...
Ninja guy.
I'm just saying, like, you can't. I don't see any of his in-game sprites, so you can't confirm whether he's holding up the fucking.
I'm just gonna look League of Legends.
Zed, but he
Zed doesn't have a sword. Zed has 2 like dagger or a dagger wrist thing.
It's okay. I'm just gonna look it up.
Anyways,
I'll look it up. I'll find it. I'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have you been playing, Alex?
League. Well, that and Dune. I've been playing the shit out of Dune, so I agree with everything Todd says. The game is fucking great. I really enjoy it, and I mean, I like survival games. I like the survival crafting games. Like V Rising is like one of my favorite games, and I would say that it's like in that same genre. And the thing that I like a lot about Dune is that even though it's an online MMO and it does say that there's like PvP modes, is that I don't feel like I have to be online. Like it's very asynchronous. So like the fact that me and Tyler have a guild of like 10 people, when I'm on, like I'm usually on by myself. Maybe Tyler's on too, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
never
usually
feel
on
like
by
I
myself.
have to. Yeah, well, I never feel like I have to be playing with somebody else to progress. I mean, I'm sure it's because I'm not in the deep desert yet and I don't have to do that. But like, I
Well, I
like that
think
I feel like I
yeah.
can kind of progress on my own, even while playing with
Master
people.
Yi. Oh my god, ninja, and you were thinking Master Yi.
Oh, yeah, he's
What?
a
He's
samurai
like a
dude.
fucking big ass sword
No,
fucking
he's
guy.
not a ninja though.
Oh my
Anyway,
god,
go
He's
on, Alex.
he's a swords master. He's a okay. I guess I
Easiest
should.
character.
That's on me.
Anyway,
I should have known that we were just thinking of like literal ninjas.
green guy.
Um, but yeah, no. But playing Dune, I really enjoy base building, which is the complete opposite of what Tyler likes. So like I've spent more time just fucking around building bases than I have actually playing the game. I've done like the
100%.
third mission in the game. That's it. And I'm in the end part of the first map. So it's like,
And there's some like fun quests too. Like you get to like interact with Thufir Hawad, and you got to do like quests for the Atreides with the Harkonnen. And I have like a high reputation with the Atreides, so I've unlocked different variations of vehicles. So like
mhm.
I have like a different, you can get like different ornithopter skins and different bike skins, not just color, but like the physical, it looks completely different. So
Yeah.
I don't know, they put a lot of effort into this game. Like I think,
And there's more coming. Like they
and
have
there's a lot
DLC, like they
more.
have a season
Yeah,
pass, so they have a bunch of DLC. And they're
should
gonna
have bought
increase it.
it.
And they've been really good about feedback. Like if you look on Reddit, the
Yeah.
devs are always in the chats, like saying, "Hey, we're working on this," or they'll do AMAs, or they'll do all this stuff. So they're like very responsive, which is very nice and very cool. So like I like the game. I think it's very chill. Like it's something that I feel like I can step away from and come back and not feel like I'm like so behind. You know, like too many, especially MMOs, like you can feel like, oh fuck, like you're really only competing against yourself, which
Right.
is the cool thing. It's not like WoW where it's like if you fall behind, you know, somebody else is gonna just stomp you later. It's like there is PvP, but it doesn't really matter that they're ahead of you or not. Like, you know, maybe they have
Well,
slightly
I
better
mean,
gear,
it
but
does. It's just there's not a lot of PvP at the moment.
yeah, well, and
There's a
they're
lot of
actually making it
opportunity for
less.
non-PvP. Yeah. So like,
But
yeah,
did you see the change that
I
they were
did.
gonna do
Yeah.
with the
So
PvP?
they're
So like deep
making
desert.
the deep desert slightly less PvP necessary, and they're like
Mhm.
creating more PvE zones. I don't know
Yeah,
though. Like, I think it's kind of crucial to add some edge to the game. Like, I haven't encountered a single person who wants to harm me yet, but like that's probably not been everyone's experience. So yeah, I don't know. I think the game just needs to like still people need to keep playing. Like, and in fact, it's funny because the positives you say, Alex, are some of the negatives for some people. Like, I kind of wish there was more multiplayer necessity. I kind of
I
wish there
mean,
was content I like had to have
yeah,
people to do. Um, but I think that still could be coming, you know? So
yeah,
I don't want to like knock it just because it wasn't there on release.
yeah. I agree. I mean, I agree. I do think there is. It's a really strong foundation, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. Um, it would be nice, yeah, to have some like kind of like raids or something like that we can do eventually. That would be kind of nice. Trying to think of like things that I want. I mean, because I just do base building, I would like more variation in the
Well, you haven't even
materials.
unlocked all the other
I know.
stuff.
I'm not even like,
There's a whole bunch
yeah.
of stuff.
I have the Atreides.
You have to buy it.
I did.
It's like there's something that's like 185,000 to buy.
I
It's like,
don't have that.
yeah. So
No, it
the
was 80. It
Solari,
was
there's like,
80,000.
oh yeah,
And I bought that one, and that was the Atreides like house building kit. But I haven't even used it because it requires the plastone, which I haven't gotten yet.
yeah, yeah.
But
No, there's a lot to do. I want to
it's
keep
good.
playing it.
Yeah, it's good. I haven't really played Night Rain since last week. I just haven't really felt like the need. Like, if I'm gonna do that,
They've
I'm just
been
gonna go play it.
releasing like new bosses
I'm
to
not
play against.
surprised.
Katie's been replaying because there's new bosses every week, I guess.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's ambitious.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they they know what they're doing, so it feels like it's
yeah.
been a good, pretty
So
good
I'm
month
gonna,
actually for games.
yeah. kind of for the next thing, I'm gonna pose a question to you guys, and then we'll go and talk into the we'll do the Ask Pixelated Realms. But does Death Stranding 2 comes out like in a couple of days, and do you think it's gonna flop?
If it's up to me to buy, hell yeah, because I don't give a fuck.
I think it'll do worse than the first one or about the same. That's my guess. Because I don't know, a lot of people were really interested in that game, and I think a lot of people will still be interested in 2, but I it's one of those games where I doubt most people finish it. Like highly doubt. So
yeah, no way.
I don't
so
think it's
fucking boring.
I think it'll do slightly less good than
well,
the first
the
one.
thing
would be
about
my
Death
guess.
Stranding is that like it's a game, but it's
a game movie.
Different kind of yeah, it's a completely unique experience, right? Like it's not like a normal game. It's more like like playing a movie. From what I've heard, I actually haven't played the first one because it just didn't seem interesting to me. I am curious to see where it nets out. Like I'm looking at IGN, and because that review is also on the front page when I went out there earlier, and it's got a 9 from IGN. I will say this: I think that the big publications are 100% like not influenced by big publishers, right? Like I don't think IGN gives any fucks about giving this game a 6 if they think it's a 6, worrying about what Kojima or whomever the hell is going to say about it, right? Like getting blacklisted or whatever. With that being said, he has such a great reputation in the industry. I do wonder if he gets the benefit of the doubt sometimes with his games, where if this wasn't him, and again, not out of fear of like retribution or anything like that, I cannot stress enough how much I do not think media is bought and paid for, like some grifters suggest. That's just not the case. But if this was someone else, if this was like, I don't know, a Bandai game, from some studio
or
that
just
no
some
one,
indie. Like,
would it be getting the praise that it does from the community and from media? So we'll never know because it's not that, it's just an alternate reality. But everyone I've talked to about this game, like the first one, like nobody ever has told me like, dude, that's a must fucking play. Like you have to play Death Stranding. I've never heard that from anyone. So,
yeah, I played the first one, and it's very unique. And I agree with you, like for definitely on the fact that I don't think like any journalists are bought, but on the fact that like Hideo Kojima's reputation propels quite a lot, gives him quite a lot of leeway that other people don't get. And it's kind of like if, Wes Anderson makes a movie, or Quentin Tarantino makes a movie or something like that. Like there's a certain expectation and a certain like people go into Hideo Kojima games knowing they're fucking weird, but that there's going to be something that they've never seen before. And so I think people, have that lens, that framing in their mind when they go into things, because it's not like he can, go and make a game with a unknown company and then secretly release it without telling anybody it's him, and then see like how people, react. Because, they just know like, okay, we're going to get this crazy game. And I agree, if somebody else had released it, I don't know if it would have been, because crazy games get released all the time. I don't know if it would be received the same way, not just because of the bias I think that kind of comes along with it, but because there's just not going to be as many eyes on it. And
sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go.
I like that you brought up movies. Someone I instantly thought of as you're talking is Tarantino, right? Like Tarantino movies are very, very unique. They're like their own thing, and like you either love it or you hate it. But I do think he is also someone that gets the benefit of the doubt. Like I didn't think Kill Bill was that good. Like it's fine. I didn't like Kill Bill didn't like change my life, but that good movie got like crazy praise. And it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, you walk in, you see it, or like this, you play it, and you're like, man, that was kind of fucking weird. And like, I don't know if that was for me, but you know, Tarantino or, Kojima, like, what are you expecting? Like, this is what we had, this is what we thought was going to happen. So, and like, I mean, I say that about Tarantino. I fucking love Pulp Fiction. I love like a handful of his movies. They're some of my favorites, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that, where it's like, this isn't for me, but it's like the genius behind the movie. And so I'm going to give it, or like you almost struggle. Like you have to like find a reason, like, oh man, that was like so fucking artsy or like so like unique. And like you're finding like excuses to like give it a better rating than you actually feel it was, because you're trying to like, analyze the genius of the creator.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. No, totally. Like I played the first one. I didn't finish it, but I gave it the good old college try, and I think I played like 20, maybe even 30 hours into it. And I just got so fucking bored. But I mean, I don't regret playing it because it's very pretty, first of all. Very, very pretty game. Very unique setting. The story is fucking nuts. And I mean that both in the good and the bad way. Like it's like so it feels like an acid trip that somebody had and decided to like throw it into a video game. Because it's just so like nothing makes sense. And then watching um the trailer for the second game, it looks like they've doubled down on that and it makes even less sense now. Like it's just complete acid the whole time. Like literally who was the main villain in the first game? I don't know if anybody's seen the video, the trailer of the second game, but like the main villain of the first one who had this like mask of a skull and had this like really cool cloak and had this badass facade in the second game now is a punk rocker with like Kiss makeup on with a guitar that does attacks and is like and now there's a bigger bad guy, so you have to probably I don't know, but I'm assuming you probably have to team up with him to defeat the new bad guy with the old bad guy while he plays guitar. And there's like all these wacky characters, like for instance there's a puppet, like an old like
I
a
do remember
marionette
that from
voice
the trailer.
puppet that sits on like the shoulder of one of the characters and is like just talking like a fucking normal human being, like, and they're just like acknowledging it like it's normal. And that mixed with all the fetus stuff and like all the weird crazy characters and stuff, and they just like nothing makes sense in the game, absolutely. And that's just the story. And then you get to the gameplay, and the entirety of the gameplay is fetch quest. And so it's like, go to point A, which there's a shit ton of rocky terrain in between you and it. Then go to B, drop it off, and then come back to A. And then you see a really crazy cutscene. Oh, and somewhere in between there, you have a gunfight for some reason, because as a package UPS delivery man, you shoot people. So like, it's kind of like totally doesn't make any fucking sense. Is really cool. I think I said this. I don't know if we were actually recording, but people when the first one came out, I told people that like it would have been a much better like 15 to 20 hour game, and it was like a 50-hour game, right? It was like it would have been a much better game if it was a tighter experience, because it's so weird and boring that like if they had just diluted it down to its like really like the just to the whatever the story was, and then like a lot less missions, because the missions were like the least interesting part of the whole game. So if they had just removed like all of the missions except for like a handful of them, I would have been much better game, and just basically have been like a movie. I have no idea what 2 is going to be like. I have no idea what the gameplay is going to be like. I don't know if it's more or less. I haven't honestly really looked. But if you haven't seen the trailer for it, you should go and watch it, just because it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. But my guess is because the first one I think sold fairly well because people wanted to see what Kojima was going to do unhinged.
Yeah.
Now that they've seen it, I don't know if there's going to be that same demand for the second one. I think people are certainly going to buy it, but I just don't see it selling anywhere near the numbers the first one did. I think it's going to be like half.
Yeah, 19 million copies as of November 2024
Right.
for
So I mean,
OG Death Stranding.
yeah, I mean that's a pretty respectable amount. So I would be surprised if it peaks over 8 in after 2 years, is my guess. So like a little less than half, because I think at this point people are just going to watch it on YouTube or watch their streamer play it, some streamer play it or something like that. So because it's so weird and artsy, like unless this comes out and we find out that there is some crazy new mechanic that is just fucking mind-blowing and people want to pick this game up, if that doesn't happen, then I just don't see people wanting to play this.
You know what's weird though is that the game came out in 2019. As of March 2021, the game had sold over 5 million copies. So from 2021 until now, it has gone up 300%, right? 400%, I don't know. Basically, yeah. So that's kind of interesting because I wonder how. I don't know. I wonder if that includes like the free, like, Epic Game Store was giving it away for a time being. Obviously it's been on like deep discount at times. People are like, oh, why don't I just pick this up? So I'm curious how that all works, but
Yeah.
I mean, at 2 years after launch, it had 5 million
was it 5
sales.
million?
Or I guess
Yeah,
a year and a half after.
See, I guess I was even high with my 8 then, because I just don't see this like making up, putting up big numbers, unless, yeah, like I think most people are gonna wait or watch it, like I said, on something, because you just wait till that game is $5 and then you're like, all right, now I'll check it out and see what this crazy game is, or wait for it to go for free on Epic Store or $1 on Steam or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. So let's see, PC revenue. December 2020, this is 1 year after launch, it only generated 27 million in gross revenue. In the first, it says 5 months. That's not a lot. Like games like dude, like the most recent Call of Duty cost like $500 million to make, or some shit like that. So obviously I doubt this game cost anywhere near that. But what's interesting too is like critical acclaim does not always translate to sales, obviously.
That's true.
But sales are what ultimately drive decision making. And I'm looking at like on IGN. IGN got a lot of shout out from me today. They have like another article, and it was like a tier list of his games, and it's like 9 out of 12 of these are Metal Gears, right? But his non-Metal Gear games, like the 3 in S tier, are Metal Gear. It's Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid, and then Sons of Liberty. A tier is Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Metal Gear Solid 4. But then after that, like B tier has PT, C tier has Police Knots, and then the worst rated game, the only one in D tier, is Snatcher, which I don't know what that is. So he obviously was doing great with Metal Gear. What, Konami, right? Or is it Capcom?
Mm-hmm. Konami. Yeah, Konami.
But it's also like, how long will if this game comes out and it sells 2 million copies, right, in the first year, like, I don't know, it's kind of like, when does that reputation change a little bit of like, oh, like, you have this crazy reputation of creating weird things, but like it's not translating, and like, do you see a shift from him to go back to like try to make a shooter game, or like more like a Metal Gear clone? I think he's his own studio right now. He's independent, so he probably doesn't really give a shit about, like, he doesn't have anyone to answer to, right? Maybe investors, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's just kind of weird or not weird, but it's interesting that he definitely hasn't seen the success that he's seen at Konami yet. And I wonder how many games he'll make that are so outside the box before he's like, I got to go back to a more traditional model, because like these games are getting praised from the community, but they're not creating revenue for us that's going to make us sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Because yeah, I agree. Like, is he gonna go back to espionage, or is he gonna stay in this world of creative
Yeah.
unhingedness?
Hopefully the game's massively successful though. I'm definitely not rooting against it by any means.
Yeah. No, we
So
never are. Well, cool. That kind of concludes our discussion then on Death Stranding, and I'll be interested to see in a couple of days when it comes out. So let's move on over to Ask Pixelated Realms. You now it's time to Ask Pixelated Realms, where we answer your questions and read your comments. If you'd like to join the conversation, head over to pixelatedrealms.org/ask. You can tell I'm rusty and haven't done this in a while. So let's see how many we get through. Probably only like one or two. This one is from months ago from Ed. It says,
is he
"Yo,
just licking your cat's butt?
No, he's like trying to put it in my face. I'm trying to avoid it.
cats, dude, what a weird. Why are they so weird? Why are cats just?"
He's fucking up your visual background because like he's walking in and out, so it's
He's
like you can just
black,
kind of
too,
see like
so
a
it's-
tail like in front of your face. It's really funny. All right, sorry, Alex.
Does
go
this when I'm working all the time.
Yeah. Okay. This one's from Ed. He said, "Yo, just listen to the one
Ed.
on GTA price hikes. You think with AAA going to $90+ that other lower games then boost up? That other lower games then boost up. Like before, it was $10 for indie, 40 for for mid tier, 70 for AAA. But now it'll go 40 for indie, 70 for mid tier, 90 to 100 for AAA. People say they'll pay whatever for their favorite game studio, but I'm not going to pay $70 for half a game that I pay $40 for before. Know what I'm saying? Like that game that wasn't 50 hours to play, but you'll see it only $39.99. So
I
you give
mean,
it a shot.
they're always going to rise in price, right? That's just the nature of like the market. But
Yeah,
I don't know. Video games, like they range from undervalued to overvalued. I think we're still going to see like a really diverse amount of pricing. Like
yeah.
Balatro, right? That game's like $10, but like people get a lot of value out of it. So I just don't think pricing matches very frequently. Anyway,
I also think that homies' price ranges are like terribly off. Like, when is the last time you bought like a fleshed out like 25-hour experience game for like $10? I think that most
Balatro.
indies, well, Balatro, but that's also like a very slimmed down card game.
Yeah.
But like most indies,
I don't know if it's slimmed down, but
like, okay, there wasn't, okay.
We're putting
My
Dustin
point
is, yeah, I
is
get your point.
that
I'm
most indies are like, I think are priced between $20 to $30 right now. Like, I think that is like the sweet spot with like your, like maybe like small dev team stuff, like with no marketing behind it, anything. It's just a game that gets popped onto Steam and people cross their fingers. Sure, maybe that stuff's $5-10, but like anything that has like reputable developers behind it, has a marketing behind it at all, like you're looking at $20-30. And then I'd say, so like, yeah, I just don't think $10 is like a feasible amount to look at for the vast majority of video games in today's market. But I do think that we might see a little bit of price increase, like Tyler said. I mean, it's the nature, like costs go up, right? People are getting paid more money, costs more to live. Because of those things, like games are going to cost more. I always hate that whole conversation too about like value on a game, because somebody could go to 2 Saturday night movies back-to-back weekends and spend $22 a ticket, and they get like 5 to 6 hours of experience of fun, not including any money they spend in the theater. And like, that's totally okay. No one walks away from that being like, oh man, dude, I didn't get the value from my movie. But you sit there and you spend $45 on a video game that's a 6-hour experience that's incredibly fun. People are going to lose their fucking mind and be like, oh my God, it's only 5 hours or 6 hours. And like, I'm not advocating for $45 6-hour games, but it's just interesting how people put value on different things that are like norms, right?
it's subjective, so it's like someone's going to feel like they got their money's worth and someone else is not. Like, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. It's just based on the preference of people, and everyone's going to have every kind of preference.
And I also think that I don't think that indie developers care what AAAs are charging. I think indie developers set their own prices. So I think that those are probably going to stay lower. They will go up, like Tyler said, like everything goes up. That's just the nature of it. But I don't think they're going to follow suit just because GTA is $90 or whatever.
I'd be
Do I
curious
think
to know what he thought, like, or what he considers a mid-tier game. Do you guys have any examples? What do you consider
like
a
a
mid-tier
double
game?
A kind of a game?
No,
I
I know, but
think.
like, what's a game that like it's like $40 that would go up to 70, or like, like I guess like what was the game we were
Well,
like
Dune
Dune?
Awakening.
Yeah.
Not that I would call it mid tier, but Dune Awakening. Right, it's not a triple A in the sense of that it's like what the top 1% or whatever. But it was $50, and Tyler spent almost 100 hours in that game.
Yeah.
But
And
if
it
it
was
was
50.
70, would you feel good about that, or would you be like,
Yeah.
Well, I
Totally.
was just about to upgrade to the deluxe, which adds $20 to gain the season pass. So apparently, I would.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like we can't just talk about this in terms of trying to like trying to segment things out. Like it's just it just depends on the great game by a huge degree, like you pay $70 for Civ 6, right? That's a AAA title, or Civ 7 AAA title, but people really were not enjoying it, so it's like, I don't know. It's just such the question is prices will rise, but whether people will price their things appropriately, that's just going to depend on the developer.
Yeah, and I'm also in the same boat, I think, as you guys, or at least as Dustin, maybe Tyler too, of like, I actually don't think that the prices are that high right now. And given how much effort and time and money they put into video games and how much, like you said, like the value you get out of them, I actually rather see an increase in price up front than get microtransactions to death in the game itself. Like if they come on, they're like, hey, to play this game, this is what we need to charge you for it to be a good experience, then I will pay that if that's a game I want to play. But if they charge less, but then they also add a battle pass and a subscription and an in-game store, it's like what, like Destiny, which I don't play anymore, but was a huge Destiny guy. Yeah, like I don't like that. Like I much rather have them just charge me the appropriate amount up front and then
give me a full game.
Give me the game.
Yeah.
Like give me the game and all of
I don't
its
actually
glory.
mind microtransactions as long as they're like, I would be okay paying less money up front and then allowing people who want to invest in like skins and avatars make up the rest of the money for me, because it doesn't impact gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what if it's like a DLC, like a add addition to the game? I don't know. It's just,
yeah. I mean, I think I think there's ways to do it, and I think you can do. I mean, I'm not saying all microtransactions are bad. I'm just saying like for instance, my go-to example is like Diablo. The game, not the core game is very fun.
What Diablo?
But Diablo 4, and but then the skins are $50 for one skin for one class. So it's like, if that was, so I'm like, okay, like why? It's like, I don't know, but I know I don't have to buy it, and I don't, and I just look at that, but I'm just saying like, just why? I don't know. I guess that's just a gripe of mine and has nothing to do with this question. Yeah. I hope, Ed, that answered your question. It's a very hard one. We don't know, I guess.
I do not think across the board we're going to see like this magical price increase where like every game all of a sudden like is $5 more there, and this next tier is like now went up $10. Like, could you say, oh, Dune Awakening should have been 40, but it's 50 now because it's a mid tier or whatever? I don't think like there is a formula. It's just going to be like, whatever these studios feel like their game is worth, whatever they need to survive.
And some are going to make sense, and some aren't, and some are going to make sense for some people, and some aren't going to make sense for others. Yeah,
then buy it.
I just found out my little sister bought a game that all she does is put rubber ducks in a pond, and that's it.
That's cool.
It's just rubber ducks. You can't move them or manipulate them or change them. They just spawn. And I was like,
is it a mobile game?
No, it was on Switch. Victoria was
Jesus Christ.
So
I need to start making dumb games. Charge $1 for them.
Yeah.
Is it Placid Plastic Duck Simulator?
Maybe.
There's also Rubber Duck Wave Racer. It's not that.
It was one that you had nothing to do. It just generated the duck every 30 minutes or 1 minute or something.
It's like literally just you watch it?
No, you do nothing. You do nothing. You just watched it. And she was like, sometimes this will happen. And I was like, what?
It's got to be plastic ducks. It's like, it really is just a plastic duck viewer. There's no game to play, no twist. You just watch ducks bounce around.
Yeah, she was into it. Super into it.
Okay.
So.
Hey, you like what you like.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think I'm going to close it up on Plastic Duck Simulator. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be notified when we post new episodes. We post new episodes every Tuesday on podcast services and on YouTube. See y'all next time.